All right, everybody. It is January 3rd, 2025, and this is Bitcoin Blueprint. Today, I want to talk about why Bitcoin is the key to financial freedom. Looking at the chart today, Bitcoin is hovering just over 98K, up 129% in the past year. A year ago, today, Bitcoin was $42,864.52. You could buy Bitcoin for just under 43,000. Now you have to pay around $98,000 per coin. Bitcoin is the key to financial freedom because A, performance like this, B, the scarcity of Bitcoin. So if we go into coin market cap, you can see here that the Bitcoin, let's see, trying to find the Bitcoin supply. I must have moved it. Okay. Anyway, we can go to the Clark Moody dashboard to see the supply as well. So percentage issued of Bitcoin is 94.31%. That's around 19,804,967 Bitcoin. Issuance remaining about 1.2 million. Now, using this schedule from River, we can see the reward for the Bitcoin block subsidy was 25 in 2012. I believe it started at 50 when Bitcoin was created in, I think, 2008, 2009. And if you think we're late to Bitcoin, we are only at the 2024 halving here, where the current block subsidy is 3.125. Of course, that's a lot less than 25 Bitcoin, but the reward itself is a lot higher. And this is because Bitcoin has a limited fixed supply. Starting in 2032, miners will get less than 1 Bitcoin for their reward. Starting in 2044, so in 19 years, miners will get less than 1/10 of a Bitcoin for solving the block reward. It's likely that the block reward will continue increasing in value, even though the amount of Bitcoin goes down, just because this is all the remaining Bitcoin and all future value flowing to Bitcoin will be partly denominated in the newly issued supply, which is scheduled as such until we get to 2136, where the block reward is 1 Satoshi, and in 2140, 0. There will be no more Bitcoin coming out. You can see a Genesis block here, 50 Bitcoin. Bitcoin will help and be the keys to financial freedom because nothing in the world is scheduled and priced like this. Even something like gold, we do not know for sure. The true supply, there is, you know, gold being found all over the world. You could find gold in space as well. But with Bitcoin, there's definitely only a hard cap of 21 million coins, which is not many coins. It's really not. 21 million is not a big number. There's way more houses in the world, way more, you know, pretty much everything of value there's more than 21 million of. Now, people will say you could use real estate or stocks for financial freedom. Now, I live in New Jersey, so let's look at real estate prices in New Jersey. Let's look at median. Median home price in New Jersey is between 525,000 and 550,400, depending on the source. This is the median. This is a really high number. That's absolutely crazy, and most people will not be able to afford this. And if they do, they will have a giant mortgage for the rest of their life. If something happens when they need a new roof, a new deck, they have to pay property taxes every year, lots of closing costs, just a lot of, I guess, slippage or loss in investment here. People use real estate as a savings account, which is partly why a median house in the state that I live in is over $500,000. And specifically where we live, it's actually more than that, I would say. It's just wild. Now we can look at New Jersey median salaries, or how about household income? Median household income in New Jersey is 91,590, one of the highest in the country. I think that might be a little bit high, but maybe not. So you can see that just real estate's gonna be really tough to get into here. A lot of people bought real estate for, 2, 3, 400,000 when the interest rate was much lower. And now, people my age just having a tough time keeping up, and real estate can't just keep going up forever. I mean, it probably will in US dollars, but in terms of Bitcoin, it will just collapse in value because Bitcoin performs better than real estate. Bitcoin has less cost than real estate. Bitcoin has less risk than real estate. Now you might say, okay, what about something like VOO, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, up, I think around 30% this last year, 26%, up 5 years, 83%, and 500% over, the launch of the CTF. Now this is pretty good, not gonna lie. But first of all, not everyone in the world has access to American capital markets. Not everyone has access to United States real estate. Houses aren't, this expensive everywhere. New Jersey is pretty desirable just because we, pretty close to the city, densely populated area. There's a lot going on here. We have all four seasons. We have the beach. We have Taylor ham, and cheese sandwiches. But something like VOO, the problem with this is that people just blindly put money in, and really most of the money just goes to like 5 or 6 companies. I think for every, say, you put $100 in VOO, I think 6 or 7 goes to Apple, 6 goes to Nvidia, 6 to Microsoft, and then Amazon, Meta, Google, Tesla. Basically, the Magnificent Seven takes 25, 30% of that money and it just bloats the values of those companies. I mean, let's look at Apple, for example. Apple is about 3.5, is it 3.5 trillion? 3.68 trillion. Apple stock is up 227% over the past 5 years. So I'll tell you what, we all know what happened here. And you can see what's happened with all the money printing after. Apple's not worth this much money. People just take their money, and because the US dollar sucks as a store of value, they believe that putting it in Apple Incorporated is a better store of value, and they are right. Definitely doing better than the US dollar, which if we look at on Google, you can see that the US dollar just loses value over time. I mean, I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. I went to the grocery store and eggs were $6 for a dozen. Now they're saying it's bird flu, but $6 for a dozen eggs, guys, that's just apocalyptic, really. You could see the US dollar over time losing all of its value. Used to be backed by gold until US President Roosevelt criminalized the possession of gold in 1933, maybe 1931. And then the gold standard abandonment in 1971 by Richard Nixon, the Nixon shock, abandoning the link between currency and gold, basically screwing everyone over who had dollars, and then repricing gold as well, quantitative easing, money supply grew by 4 trillion in 2020, equal to 20% of all dollars ever created. I think since then it's been about 40%. So it's a nightmare. So US dollar, not a good store of value. Stocks, while they're okay, you could see that they're not worth, PE ratio of 40. They're just overpriced. And even if they do well, you could see that Bitcoin just destroys Apple. It's just not even comparison. And this is the opportunity cost you have by not buying Bitcoin. So, in summary, Bitcoin is the key to financial freedom because it outperforms everything else, and real estate and equities are just being bloated. These things do have utility value, but they are just used as a store of value mostly. And if you use stocks as a store of value, they become overvalued over time compared to their fundamentals. Real estate just becomes unaffordable and used as an investment or land banking. And Bitcoin will just continue to appreciate compared to currency, stocks, real estate, and everything else. And if all you did was buy Bitcoin 5 years ago and not touch it, you would be up 1,233%. That's a little over 13x, outperforming absolutely everything else. Inflation's not a problem to you. Your $7,355.39 would now be $98,024.84. You didn't have to get cute with any buying and selling. You didn't have to time things. You just bought and hold. And this is how you win with Bitcoin. You can go even further back and just see the proper strategy, regardless, is to just buy. It doesn't matter if it seems high or low at the time, because it will always just keep going up. And that's why Bitcoin is the key to your financial freedom. If you guys like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, give the video a like. I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you.